Hello everybody, how you guys doing? This is another episode of an experiment called Life with Alex Mackenzie. Did not put my phone on silent, very unprofessional. So it is May 15th, Monday, and we are in Kelowna, BC. We just finished our Comedy for a Cause tour, so last weekend we were in Salmon Arm and Revelstoke, and the shows were amazing, super fun. Salmon Arm was very fun. It was funny. Both the Friday shows the last 2 weeks were just something else, man. Like the turnout, the crowds were so lively, so much energy. It was a very good time. Revelstoke was a little bit lighter of a crowd and not as lively. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what happens. Sometimes you just gotta, different crowds, different things, trying to work on it. I do think a $40 ticket was a little too high for Revelstoke, because it's a very like hippie town full of a bunch of hipsters. It's one of my favorite cities towns because it's a place that has RV only parking. Pretty much everywhere else is like, you can park here as long as you're not an RV. In Revelstoke, they're like, this is only for RVs. So you dirty cars, get out of here and make room for us camper people, which is really cool. It was also Mother's Day yesterday. It was very fun. I spent Mother's Day with my mother. We started at the Mountain Coast Hotel Mountain Resort in Revelstoke. It was very beautiful there. And then we went to a little place just outside of, what's it called? Lake Country. So it's on Kalmalka Lake. We just rented a little campsite and spent the night there. We went and got cheesecake last night and had some late dinner. And then watched Coco, the movie, which was very exciting. It's a really cool show about, I think what's it about, like Mexico and the Day of the Dead, which is something I talk about in my special as my closing. So it's really cool to kind of watch that show and get into that. Anyway, this weekend we have no upcoming shows. It's May long weekend. We've taken all the long weekends off throughout the summer to try and have that as a bit of downtime and do something with my friends who aren't comedy related. So I'm gonna head to Osoyoos. I'm heading to Penticton this afternoon to go visit Lori and Wes, and then I'm heading to Osoyoos to go see Dave and Kalua. My good friends there, and it should be fun, man. I'm very excited to see them and excited to have a weekend it's not really off, but to get caught up. So we've got a lot of big stuff coming up. The next show we're doing is May 27th. That's in 100 Mile, BC. If you know anyone in 100 Mile, let them know I'm coming to town. That would be amazing. And then the other thing we got to get locked down this week is Hungry for Laughs. Really got to get the Hungry for Laughs tour up and launched. Sending out sponsorship packages, getting all of that kind of sorted and settled, getting the charities locked in, and then moving forward, onward and upward. And we're doing our first arena, so we got to have that ready. Yeah, so those are things that are coming up. What did I want to talk about this week? I was going to talk about the hockey hierarchy. So that's the thing I was thinking about. Another lesson I learned from hockey. Something I found in hockey was it didn't seem to matter as much didn't really matter how much you improved. Like, you kind of, as you came into the system, you would get labeled as like anywhere from first line to fourth line, and like say you slotted in the third line, it would be very hard for you to move from the third line to the second or first line. Like, even if you improved and got better, I don't know, it just seems that like people see you at a certain level and then it's hard for them to see the progress and they kind of slot you in there. It's something that I really like about comedy. Comedy does seem to have a hierarchy as well throughout the industry. But the nice part about comedy, or probably most arts, you don't have to go with the industry. Like, I can just self-produce everything that I do. And that is a big driving force behind what I do. Like, I really like being self-produced. I don't know what it is. It's probably some dumb ego thing. I don't know what it is exactly, but I know, like, Macklemore is self-produced, and I really look at his stuff, and I really he really inspires me, that guy, man. So anyway, one nice thing is, like, because if it was up to the industry, I don't think that I would even be headlining shows. Like, I just wouldn't even be. They'd be like, you know what, you've only been doing it a few years, you're a middle at best, and we're gonna leave you in the middle slot. But luckily here, like, all what I can do is I'm allowed to just book a venue. Like, I can just rent any theater you want, and then you just put on a show and market it and sell tickets, and see how it goes, and then you can let the people decide, right? Like, I think the audience is the ultimate litmus test, you know? They're the people. I mean, if you can book a theater and sell it out and get people to come out and everyone has a good time, you get to decide who you are. And I think that's something, I don't know, that's just one of my core beliefs. I think that we really get to decide who we are in this life, and it's just taking those steps towards that. So yeah, that was something very cool. Something else I'm noticing along the way, though, is how isolating comedy is, because it's not a team sport. Like hockey, you would have a team, and everyone on that team was working towards a common goal, and if someone wasn't pulling their own weight, you would let them know about it. Like, everyone would be like, hey man, like, you are not doing what you need to do, and you're holding the team down. Comedy is very, very individual. Like, you're just, it's you versus the world, it seems. And it can be a very lonely pursuit. Like, I am so obsessed now with it, and it's all I seem to do, that you kind of isolate yourself from the regular folks. But it's the funnest, man. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, this last week was just amazing. And getting to spend the time, like, with my family, and like, have my mom on the road with me. Like, I just want to get a bigger RV. We just got to keep crushing shows, get a bigger RV, and then get one that has slide outs, because this is too tight in here when me and my mother are in here and we're trying to do stuff. She's trying to play Fortnite, I'm trying to play my games, and it's just not enough room. So got to get a bigger one. My dream, you guys, would be to have two. To get 2 tour buses, have like big 40-foot tour buses, one for like the comedians and stuff, and the other one for my friends and production people, and then just get to travel around the country doing shows. And we're going to get there. I know we will. It's like, it's only a matter of time. It's just, as long as you can keep doing what you're doing, keep your energy up, stay focused, and keep pushing onward and upward. Like, I think it... I don't know, there's enough successful people out there that you can look at and be like, what did they do to get to where they're at? And then just copy that. Like, the blueprint for it is out. Like, it's not like you're really having to reinvent the wheel or do anything. And from everything I can see, it does just seem to come down to like time and effort and hard work. I just finished listening to Will Smith's book, and it was so good, dude. It was so good. It's really cool to hear. I don't know, I'm like fascinated by people's lives. You know, when you hear about someone and you see them, you're like, oh, because you realize we're all just people. Like, everyone is just a person, and then they have a childhood, they have, you know, their teenage years, their young adult life, their later life. Like, it's all there, and they can kind of tell you what they went through on their way up. And something that I see that's very common in all of them is the hard work. Like, every one of them is like, I just became obsessed with my thing and was very passionate about it, and they would wake up every day and just chip away at it. Like, you know, Will Smith talks a lot about building a brick wall, and he says, because his dad actually made them build this brick wall when they were kids, and he said, you never set out to build like the biggest, baddest wall. It was just lay this one brick as perfectly as a brick could possibly be laid. He's like, you do that and just do that every day, and then eventually you have this amazing wall. And it's almost all of them. Like, anyone who I see who's achieved success, but I mean, that's determined by whatever you view as success. You know, I'm not just thinking money or anything like that. It's whatever their pursuit is, what you're trying to be, and being able to become that. They said it was just like every day waking up and working on the vision and getting a little closer to it. That's something I really try and watch now, is like the content I consume. I really try not to look at any negative content, because I find it will. It just, like, once you start looking at negative crap, and then it just like comes in and you're like, that's negative and that's negative, then your brain just starts seeing negative everywhere. When really, I think that like the world is a beautiful place, and we're in the best time ever to be alive, and things are going pretty good, man. Dude, I heard that they might be able to clone a woolly mammoth. That's the thing I just heard the other day, is that they could be doing that. Oh, there's our 9-minute timer, so we're going to start wrapping it up. But yeah, how cool would that be if they brought a woolly mammoth back? That is a pretty skeptical thing, though, right? Like, should we be meddling in there? Maybe things that just die and go extinct should just stay dead and extinct. Except my mother. If you can clone my mother and bring her back when she dies, let's do that. All for that. Green light, go. Yeah, and my father and all my family people and my friends. God, that's like a list, eh? You just start going, you're like, well, now we got to include Dave And then frickin' I guess we can't leave Stephanie out because then she'll be pissed and then we'll never hear the end of that. And how many people in your life would you clone? You could get 5. You're allowed to clone 5 people and have them live on. Who would they be? Only wrong answers, please. Anyway, that's another episode of an experiment called Life. Thank you guys for listening. And I will see you next Monday as we're getting ready for our show in 100 Mile. And we have shows in Kamloops and Oliver coming up. So if you want to let people know about them, please do. I love you guys. Take care and talk soon.